It's a city where anything can happen, so what could go wrong or right as I hit up LA Unscripted from the Dream Hollywood Hotel. From sunup to sundown, if you want to be wooed by sleek and sexy, then welcome to your dream come true. Hi everyone, I'm Dana Devin, and today we went off script and checked in at the corner of Selma Avenue and Cahuenga Boulevard, where mid-century modern meets mod, chic, and just plain amazing. But this hotel hotspot is not just the place to be for sophisticated fun, it's now also for art, and not just the paint and brush kind.
We have over $500,000 worth of static art here on our property, but it was only fitting that we added this new art medium into our guest experience.
It's an easier way to kind of get lost in the artwork, and that's what I think the animation does. It kind of really just draws you in. Hey, I'm the King of Midtown, founder of the Crypt Gallery, which brings the digital marketplace to life. Crypt is short for crypto. Cryptocurrency is a token. It's a digital currency that's traded, used to purchase artwork and other items across the blockchain.
Pandemic gave us a lot of opportunity to come up with new, great, transformative ideas, and we felt as though NFT and NFT art in particular fit into our brand ethos as being creative, transformative, and more of a futuristic approach towards the guest experience.
NFT is a non-fungible token. NFT is everything from a piece of artwork to audio. It's a certificate of authenticity, a contract that really can't be duplicated. Here you could come, you could scan the QR codes.
Okay. So
which will, yeah.
Okay.
Now this guides you to multiple platforms where we hold some of our artwork. The Crypt Gallery is an opportunity for many to discover artists, what they're creating, in addition to how you would go about acquiring a piece of artwork from them in a safe way to protect yourself and your money, of course.
I'm a visual artist based out of Los Angeles, California. This is an example of an NFT that I've sold. It was a one of one and won an auction for $25,000.
I think we've had up until, Beeple's $69 million sale, which we all know, I believe still the biggest. As of recent, there's, I believe, a $3 million X-copy sale. So the prices range, and some pay what they think it's worth to them.
So it's kind of like, starts with concepting. We run it through multiple programs like Premiere, Unreal, Unity Engine, and it kind of, that's where it gets the nuances and the quality of the video that you see. I
think many have found a new way to express themselves and get that out there. We're seeing everything from your, traditional looking art to motion design, graphics, to animations, kind of really bringing things to life. And it's creating a lot of excitement, which it did for me.
To have access to NFT art and be the first NFT gallery in the world, it was a no-brainer. And now this art can be transformed or transitioned at any point remotely. And we can always keep it relevant and cool.
There is a global audience that comes here, stays here, and I think it's the perfect place to get the exposure and educate more and more of our following and sort of take this mainstream on a much faster level.
It's all kind of mind-blowing, right? Well, so is this, and this.
I have a lot of influences that go back to my childhood, but mostly it's a combination of skateboarding and skateboard art, comic books, and graffiti. At this point, I've painted over 100 murals in 30 cities. My name is Tristan Eaton. I'm a Los Angeles-based painter and muralist, and I'm revealing my journey as an artist. I feel like I have a collage aesthetic that's based on all of the different areas of focus that I've had in my life. And that's how I tell a story, by ripping them all up and bringing them together like a puzzle. I was born on Sunset Boulevard. I grew up in LA. I have stacks of art from when I was 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. It was pretty obvious that it was an obsession at a young age, and that's taken me down a lot of different roads. I was very lucky to have the Long Beach Museum of Art showing 25 years of my journey as an artist, through designing flyers for hip-hop shows in Detroit, to painting motorcycles for the Rough Riders in New York, to putting up street signs all over the country, to working for the Obama campaign, to my modern work now that's mostly painting and sculpture and murals. I think that the mural work is the most important work that I do because it has the potential to help people the most. It has the potential to do good for a community. The pandemic threw curveballs at a lot of artists I know, and everybody, frankly, but I was very lucky to do a project with the hospital in New York City in the Bronx, Montefiore, where they were kind of at the epicenter. So they wanted to do something to celebrate their nurses and their workers. They did this ad campaign and hired me to paint the nurses and contribute all this art to this initiative, and it was a really emotional, amazing thing to be a part of. This is my fourth version of this mural here at York Boulevard and Avenue 50. This one is of Cesar Chavez and Zapata. I started painting the murals in this corner during the Black Lives Matter movement, and I painted Martin Luther King on the shutters, and a few days later, a local racist came out, painted over the whole mural, wrote racial slurs over it. So I came back and I immediately painted Malcolm X over it in response, and then that was painted over and defaced. So I painted Angela Davis in response to that. This was painted with my friend Sonny Boy and my friend Grace, and we thought it was nice to have a white artist, a black artist, and a Mexican artist all coming together. It's a thrill, really, to drive around any city and see my work out in public. And it's an honor to have that work become a cherished part of people's everyday life. And I know I've done my job well when a community does not want my mural painted over. It's become part of their identity.
When it comes to our city, talent is everywhere. So let's check in with our Jasmine Simpkins for another beautiful find.
People they flock to us in not knowing exactly what we are. That's what's interesting. My name's Tim Skogstrom, and I'm the owner of Cornell Winery and Tasting Room here in lovely Cornell, California.
So tell me about the place. The property is absolutely beautiful.
This place is owned by the Runyon family, Runyon Canyon, Hollywood, and it's been like a little sleeper business since 1970 when it was first opened. It's an iconic steakhouse. Steve McQueen, Sam Peckinpah, Jason Robards. This was their hangout back in the day. Tom was 89 when he passed in 2009, and that's when I came in and helped his son and the family out by rebuilding the restaurant, and now we see thousands of people a week. I wanted to bring in an element of locality because Malibu has 50 vineyards in it. We are not a winery, we do not make wine. I did the first 5 years we were here. I decided to focus on other people's products. And that's really the magic of what Cornell is all about. It's helping other people kind of achieve their dreams. So you come in, we do a tasting. It's a 3-wine flight, and it costs $12. And we tell you about it here in the shop, and then you go out and you find a place to drink it. We have some really crazy grounds here, so we were able to put booths in the woods. We put a couple of tree houses in the back for you to kind of sit and hide out and just kind of watch the people walk by. We have peacocks all over the property.
Oh my gosh.
They're fun to feed and watch do their little pageantry.
Kids obviously are welcome as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Kids, dogs. You know, we just say that, I mean, everyone has to be respectful.
Well, of course, you know, I could not come here without tasting some wine, and Tim has been nice enough to let me try some out. Tim, thank you so much. I had
absolutely.
a wonderful time on the grounds. I will be back. Cheers.
My pleasure.
And we have more of the good stuff from the Dream Hotel in Hollywood coming up. No shut-eye just yet. But how cool is this? It's the best of F right here, meaning a fantastic lobby, fun restaurants, fancy rooms, and non-fungible tokens? What the F? Well, I can be frank like that on TV. Welcome back to LA Unscripted, everyone. I'm Dana Devin, and you are not in a sensational slumber. This is a real-life dream at Dream Hotel for all things fabulous, and it's all right here.
We are located in the most iconic location in all of Los Angeles, right, in the heart of Hollywood, with expansive and robust food and beverage, well-appointed rooms, and phenomenal service. This is the living room for the neighborhood. It's our lobby lounge. Even if you take a look at the carpet's supposed to remind you of a molding of the sand and the beach here in Los Angeles. And then you go to the rooms. On the floors, you'll see the same carpet on the guest floors, as well as in the rooms, you'll see carpets that are supposed to be reminiscent of the beach itself. From the moment you enter into the property, you feel like this hotel is alive. It's a living, breathing entity.
And I mean, dreams really do come true here. I mean, get a load of this bathtub. And while I soak up the good life, check this out.
If you ain't got tatted by cartoon, you ain't got no tat.
I'm Mr. Cartoon, and you're watching LA Reveal. When I look back and I'm thinking, you know, what impact did I make in LA, or what did I do here, you know? I probably contributed something to making tattooing high-end. When I got in, a lot of the tattooers, they weren't making what they deserved, man. I had been a professional artist already, so I knew what commercial projects paid, and tattooing was way harder than those jobs, and tattooing was 1/3 of the money. And I was like, man, if I do anything, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna give the artists in LA a raise. You know, growing up in LA, I've been inspired by so many different people, so many different ethnicities, and we all kind of borrow from each other. I take this experience and the tattoos and all the street culture, and that's the heaviest influence in my art. Hey, I might be doing something for, say, Vans or Levi's or some major company, but in my head, I'm a 16-year-old kid going down the 110 freeway reading graffiti on the wall, so I still keep that with me. You know, I grew up in the harbor area, and a lot of times you can get stuck down there your whole life and never even come to Hollywood or come to other places in LA. I was always the adventurous type. As a kid, I liked to do graffiti, and to do graffiti, you had to go to LA. So we would take the bus, or we would jump in our bucket and drive down Western Avenue from Pedro all the way to Hollywood. And we'd go through 100 gang territories to get there. And that built me up as a creative. I have to have the cutting edge mind of a graffiti vandal, and also that of a designer, a producer, grown folk stuff. So I'm in both worlds. This whole studio I'm in, I seen it before it manifested. I sketched it 10 times. Here in Santa Monica, it's where Hollywood meets the water. We're in my private studio. I'm partners in a barbershop called Master Deluxe. We built this place to kind of be a one-on-one type of environment. This is where we make people's lives a little bit better, you know? They walk in one way, they leave better. With a tattoo and fresh fade. Being that I'm 51 years old, I'm not gonna be tattooing forever, you know what I mean? You're only as good as your last project. You gotta stay on top. You gotta be cutting edge. Your work's gotta be dope, bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is SoCal culture. We're all in it to win it. Let's get it.
You know, anything can happen here in Hollywood, and part of the magic about living here is discovering and uncovering the art in everyday life.
I absolutely adore and respect and love street art. Downtown LA is just, I think it's like the epicenter for every great street artist. They have something here. Hi, I'm Caroline of Love and Loathing Los Angeles. You can find me at Love and Loathing LA. I remember moving here and being like, expecting it to be just kind of terrible. Right. And once I got to discovering, exploring, and figuring out neighborhoods and meeting so many incredible people, I was like, what the heck is this general attitude? I just feel like it was totally misunderstood. Part of the foundation of Love and Loathing Los Angeles is to highlight and get people to get into the community and to support smaller businesses, smaller local organizations, whatever that might be. It's beautiful. It's really cool.
They say what you dream will come true. Just believe. I believe the Dream Hotel is an absolute dream, and we will be right back making yours come true too. Sweet dreams are made of these, and who am I to disagree that this heavenly haven has it all?
This is a one-stop shop for everything. So Tao is a restaurant right next door. We have Beauty in Essex, which is upscale American cuisine, and then Highlight Grill on the rooftop. There's celebrities walking throughout the lobby. There's celebrities dining in our food and beverage outlets. There's in-room dining options that can allow all of these food and beverage outlets to deliver directly to the room by our friendly robot named Alfred. So there's never a dull moment here at Dream Hollywood.
You never know what you'll find in our city. And now our Olivia De Bortoli has this from our sponsors.
The fight against hunger in LA County is a never-ending battle. Well, our friends Farmer John and the LA Food Bank are here to help.
Food insecurity was a serious issue even before the pandemic, partially because of our high housing costs and other issues. And with the pandemic hitting, we have even more families and individuals just struggling to meet their basic needs, including food. So donating to the food bank, volunteering, contributing to us is a great way to help neighbors throughout Los Angeles County who are struggling to feed themselves during these difficult times.
You've done this before.
Well, Farmer John is a longtime partner and donor to the food bank, so they're donating 250,000 servings of different meat items to us so that we can get that out to the community.
Farmer John is an iconic LA brand. We're right here in the Los Angeles community for over 90 years. Farmer John team produces all kinds of different meat products, ham, sausage, bacon, and really just those center of the table protein items that we all love to put in front of our families. We oftentimes say that we're a food company, right? So feeding people is what we do. And that extends to our social purpose, to make sure that we're taking care of our neighbors in need and feeding the hungry. We're so glad to be able to work with the Los Angeles Food Bank here today to make this donation and make sure that this product is getting out to those who need it most. The issue of hunger and food insecurity are certainly complex, challenging issues for our society. It's not something that we're going to be able to address overnight, and we're just glad to be able to step in and support the food bank as best as we can. Certainly we hope that one day hunger and food insecurity will be something that we don't have to deal with anymore, but today is not that day, and so we're just glad to be able to provide this donation of protein to be able to serve our community as best as we can.
It's just a reminder to get out there and everyone do your part. Get out there and even the smallest little thing makes a big difference.
And you know what the best part about living here is? You never know what you're going to find in our city.
This is my latest miniature. It is a miniature version of the Hollywood Bowl marquee that sits outside. I'm Kieran Wright, and I started Small Scale LA, where I reveal LA in miniature form. In 2017, I moved to LA from New Zealand. When I first moved to LA, I spent a long time driving around and going to tourist destinations and seeing Hollywood Boulevard and Santa Monica, all the touristy things. I'm always looking at buildings and thinking, that could make a good miniature. So this is the Apple Pen. It is one of my favorite places in LA. It's iconic, it's historic. So as soon as I settle on something that I want to do, my first action is to go to the building and take a tape measure, 1,000,000 photographs of it. I get home and I scale them down basically. I then create the image in Photoshop so I can have a little bit more of an accurate idea of what I'm going to create. And then I get building. Generally, most of the artworks that I create are based out of quite a dense type of foam. That foam creates the base for what I'm going to build, and then over the top of that I'll layer on whether it's plaster or styrene plastic or basswood, and that kind of builds up the actual miniature itself. And then I go to work on all the little details, so it's then creating all the little doors and the windows and the drain pipes and the signage. The architecture of LA is so unique and interesting because it's in a way uninteresting. It's dirty and it's grimy and it's covered in graffiti sometimes, but that's all part of it. That's part of the beauty of LA. You just have to look hard enough to see these incredible buildings that we have around us. To date, my favorite miniature that I've built is probably Philippe the original. Fugetsu-do in Little Tokyo was a great piece for me to choose because not only is it a cool building, it has an incredible history behind it. And through the pandemic, I wanted to choose businesses and places that maybe needed our support a little bit and needed a little more patronage. With so many of these buildings threatened by demolition and rising rents and businesses having to move out, I love the idea that I'm creating these miniatures that can live on forever. Through my artwork, I hope to kind of help in my small way of showing people, hey, like, look how cool this little building looks. Like, wouldn't it be a shame if we were to lose that?
So what is art to you? Well, let us know. And thank you so much to the Dream Hotel for letting us go off script. And after all this sleep talk, I think I need a nap.